All right, welcome back. It's SME, and then whenever it comes to SME, you get to learn something. And today we're doing a little bit of learning something from somebody else's, lessons or what they've learned all through their journey as an entrepreneur. Stella Michael Ofori is a multi-serial entrepreneur, a business consultant, and the founder of Blanca Luxury, which is one of Nigeria's leading indigenous brands specializing in high-quality contemporary furniture for residential and commercial spaces. With a commitment to craftsmanship, innovation, and customer satisfaction, Blanca's unique approach combines contemporary aesthetics with functionality, ensuring that their pieces not only elevate spaces but also resonate with the cultural and modern needs of Nigerian consumers. And then we also have Gabriel Balogun. It is great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to do this now. You are into your business and you're doing function all over. Let's start with you. Let's talk about your story. How did this all start for you?
It started recently. I've worked in private organizations for 15 to 17 years, and I decided I wanted to go into offering furniture supply services. So I started, I think, 3 years ago, and I'm passionate about interior design as well as craftsmanship, and of course, giving my clients excellence in everything that I do. And that's how it started. And I started just a little, and now my business has grown into a big one.
Now, you see, for someone starting business in that kind of a way, let's talk about challenges because we have, there is the statistics that after about 2 years, 80% of businesses fail and all of that. Yeah. How does one become the best version of themselves while doing business in such a way to scale up? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 3 years.
3 years. Oh, that's quite something. That beats the 2 year data that is out there. Yeah. So that's quite something. How does one become the best version of themselves while they are scaling and doing business as such?
I think it predominantly begins with having a very strong why. Why are you doing this? And this is rooted strongly in understanding of yourself. You need to be able to say, this is why I am doing this. This is why it is important. This is why we need to do this. And the reason for that is if you do not have a strong why, you would not know when to give up and pivot. Right? Because sometimes in the first 2 years, there's that big struggle of, do we have product market fit? Is this the right product? Am I speaking to the right customers? And if you're not self-aware to understand that this is what is being perceived of what we're doing, this is how they're perceiving the value that we're giving, you will lose confidence. So your strong why helps you. Many people call it purpose, right? The strong purpose helps you to stay grounded, and that guides you into making the decisions that you need to make when you don't see the results that you want initially.
Now, Stella, let's just talk about the challenges, because definitely doing business in Nigeria can be quite challenging. What have you been able to overcome as a business person in Nigeria to get to where you are?
Okay, so let me dwell on what he says. You have to have purpose and you have to have why. That will drive, you through the obstacles that you face in your business. One of the challenges people have is they don't have proper research and knowledge about the business they want to go into. So when you go in and you face a lot of obstacles, you start to lose your will and lose your balance, and you now deviate into something else. So before you start, you need to understand, once you have a knowledge of the business and the process, you already know what you're coming against, which will be customers, importation, duties, and whatnot. So you need to understand the business before you start the business. Once you understand, you know what you're coming up against, and that would help.
All right, but now you as a person, as your own business, what are the peculiar challenges that you've had to overcome?
I would have to say inflation.
Okay.
Currently, rates, and our economy is not doing as it used to. So most of our clientele are looking for something cheaper or not even buying at all. So those are the challenges I've been facing, but I still overcome.
Now, in spite of those kind of challenges, how does one? I mean, it's not easy, because at this particular place or at this particular stage, especially if you're looking at goods that you import. Maybe the exchange rate has done a lot in this particular scenario, and then you expect maybe government to do something, and they are not doing what they should do. How does one go through such a phase? Because for me, it seems impossible. How does one go through such a phase?
I think, again, it boils down to what I started with. So what really is self-awareness? Self-awareness is in two phases. There's self-awareness of you understanding yourself, which is the popular one, understanding your values, understanding the things that make you you, right? But then there is also a version of self-awareness, which is understanding how people perceive you. Now, business is about people. Business is relationship management, right? And irrespective of what pricing might look like, irrespective of what your cost price is, if you have solid relationship and people perceive you to be the person that can deliver the value that they want, it doesn't matter what the price is, they would pay, right? And I believe that's how you scale. You look at some of the luxury brands in the world, people know, I mean, permit me to use this lingua, money no day, they do wedding every Saturday. It's perception, right? So if people perceive you to be, or perceive your brand to be the brand that can deliver the value that they want, they will go beyond their needs to get what they want. Because sometimes they may just, they will buy with emotions and then justify with logic because they just desire to get it and they perceive you to be the person that can bring it for them.
What has been for you, when you're giving value, as it were, with your business, what has been the most important lesson that you think somebody else who's coming into business can learn in such a scenario? Because now the reason why I brought this up now is that one other thing where we have an issue in this country is quality standards. Someone starts somewhere, this thing, we've seen everywhere, this particular biscuit used to be 3 or 4 inside, now it's 1.5. This sardine used to be 2 inside, now it's 7/8 inside. It's, you see standards start dropping because people are trying to meet up and all of that. How important is it when it comes to standards and all of that? How important is it to try to maintain some level of standard in spite of all these kind of circumstances, as it were?
One thing I would say about business is about consistency. That's where you find success. When you are consistent, if you are giving, I think for me personally, I over-deliver. And that has helped me in my business and helped me with referrals to other clientele. So if you are giving the same thing this year, you need to step it up the following year.
And over-delivering doesn't hurt?
It doesn't hurt. Trust me. The clients appreciate what you're doing and will refer you. And that's where, that's where you find your success. Referrals, when somebody tells the next person and it goes around, you see that one business you started has already, is catering to a dozen. So I would say consistency, not changing what you're doing with the standard you're giving, and also try and over-deliver for your clients. I mean, they chose you out of 1,000, so you might as well.
Now, just to wrap up, please, just to wrap up, with all of this, you mentioned something about over-delivering and all of that. And in a particular case where you're looking at different clients now, and you're talking about over-delivery, there are times when it would affect maybe your overhead costs. In the case of where, somebody gave you this particular thing to over-deliver, you might spend more. And in some cases, you might even take a loss. It does happen. I've seen personally, it has happened and all of that. In some cases, you might even have to take a loss. In the long run, you can't keep doing that. You can't keep taking losses. So in the case of where, like she mentioned, because I understand that concept of having to over-deliver and all of that, where it affects your bottom line and all of that, just what do you do? Practically, what does somebody do?
All right, so when you want to over-deliver, sometimes it's not necessarily over-delivering with a product. You can over-deliver with service. So a typical example is you're a caterer and you've been hired to make 12 meals for a small get-together. Beyond just delivering the meals, you can show up with special plates, special branded serviettes. If you don't even want to go that far and spend money, just your presence there, serving the meals yourself, talking to the guest, getting feedback is over-delivering, because all they paid for was you to make the meal and deliver, right? So in cases where you cannot over-deliver with the product, you can over-deliver with good service, you can over-deliver with relationship, you can over-deliver with personality, You can over deliver with many other things, right? So the goal is always to under promise and over deliver. And you just have to figure out, again, business is dealing with human beings. It's figuring out the right human beings and what they want, really.
All right, thank you so much, Stella. Thank you so much, Gabriel. It was quite something, and I think it's something people can reference when they have to do on how to deal with business. Well done. Thank you very much. All right, that's it on our SME and Finance discussion. We'll take a time out and stay with us. There's still more to come on the show.